Okay, so by now y'all should know I've been abstinent for like 6 years. This month makes 6 years. And so I do plan on breaking it my birthday. But I was talking to my therapist and she was like, you mentioned somebody last week and you act like you didn't want to talk about it. So we're gonna talk about it this week, right? And I was like, oh yeah, he ain't shit. Like I shouldn't be, hunching on him, but here we are. And she was like, you know what? I'm gonna give you some bad advice.
Wait, what?
Make it worth it. Make sure you have a good old time, have a blast, and just make it worth it for you. We can talk about the rest later. AKA do it for the plot. That's all she had to tell me.
Right.
That's all she had that's what she had to tell me.
Listen, the coffee's back. That's the first thing. And secondly, you saw me pause there for a little bit because I was going to say congratulations. I was going to congratulate this chick. 6 years, I actually believe her. 6 years with no D. That's an unheard of type of thing with today's modern women. Chichi, you really going to believe her? Yeah, I'm going to believe her. Why not? Somebody out here, one of these chicks has to be telling the truth. And I think it's her. But to only let us down later on, and I mean the people who are probably congratulating her, to let them down by saying, I'm going to break it. I'm in therapy. People don't go to therapy if they don't have trauma and issues they're trying to work through. And it sounds like she's going to break it with the man who she knows ain't shit. That's like playing in the mud, taking a shower, traumatized from the mud, waiting 6 years and thinking, waiting 6 years and thinking, you know what? I'm going to do that again. Unbelievable.
This coffee smells like shit.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Wow. Talk about the therapist too, man. These therapists, hold on. Let's go see. I think we've got a second one here.
So I'm getting a lot of comments like this coming from my therapist, but the reason why she said...
Okay, so she's saying they're coming for a therapist. The comment she's responding to in her comment section, because we're going to go read the comments, says, wait, your therapist? After you said he ain't shit? Ah, hell. You know what? Let's go read a few of these comments from this first video. So top comment here from the first video. This is from the first video that she made where she's saying, hey, I've been celibate for 6 years and I'm going to break it with some dude who I know ain't shit. Next comment here says, don't give him that infinity stone. I want you guys to really think about what's happening here. You are seeing what men assume happens. We get gaslit all the time when modern women out here complaining about, oh, how did I end up pregnant? You guys need to talk to these men who ain't shit. But here you are, managed to go 6 years without anybody getting access to your womb. You could have picked any dude out there, but you pick a guy you know ain't shit. And then we're going to have to sit down later on and make a video. We have to. You made us do it. You made us do it. Next comment here says, girl, don't do it. She responds back and says, I've been pushing it off for 1.5 years. So he's been playing the long waiting game. My guy's been waiting and waiting for those cheeks. Goes on to say the lust will not go away. So she can't resist this man who ain't shit. We understand most of you chicks can't, right? This is why dudes, they just start to embrace those horrible qualities. And somehow that's when you want to give it up. That's when you want to start a broken family. Somebody else here says, girl, that therapist just trying to keep you as a client. Don't do it. Of course, this is a female therapist. And I'm not saying that female therapists are horrible. I'm just saying they're probably, a little bit more unhinged than the male therapists, right? She came in emotional on that session and just said, you know what, F it. Go out, have a blast. What type of therapist? I thought your job was to encourage someone to not go out and re-traumatize themselves. Somebody else here says, as a therapist, hell no. Here's somebody else who says, I get it, but 6 years is a long time to just throw it away on a good night. And boy, is she going to have a good night. Someone else who says, I threw mine away after 4 years and my body needed it. Honestly, golly, these chicks are off the chain, dog. That's what you're doing out here? Wow. You know, you could see this chick and you may think, if you don't drink coffee and you fall for this type of stuff, you may think, oh, an angel. Oh man. But you know what? Let's give these chicks some credit. These are women who are, they're not bragging, right? And I know some of you guys are gonna be like, Tisha, I can't believe you believe him. Some women do go abstinent for a couple of years. Like, that is an accomplishment. I'm not gonna sit here and act like that's not a good thing. I think every person needs to exercise sexual discipline. I think a lot of people are too obsessed, right? But at the end of the day, she's like, it was well worth it. And I'm just here to point out that when it comes to sexual gratification, a lot of these chicks aren't going to pick the man if they want to have a good time, right? They're not going to pick the guy who they know is good for a long-term relationship. And listen, you're allowed to do what you want. That's not the point of this, is me saying you should do this. I'm saying this. When you come back with an ultrasound to Instagram, we don't want to listen. And if we do, some of us are going to be pointing and laughing. I'll at least try not to laugh, but I can't promise anything. I probably will. If I'm going to be honest, yeah, I'm going to laugh. That's just the truth. I've laughed before. Here's another chick who says, girl, I let a dude clap my cheeks. No, she didn't say that. She actually says, I threw mine away after 2.5 years. And I'm so mad I did, right? Goes on to say, didn't even catch a peanut. You think these are DMs, right? The honesty, the openness. Goes on to add, make sure whoever you're doing it with has a nicely sized package. Oh. And some A1 stamina. She wants to beat senselessly. That's what you be doing, huh? Wow. Oh, man. Good to be back. Somebody else just says, if you made it that far, just keep it going. It's not worth it. These comments are actually pretty good. These are better than the damn video. Give me a sec. So somebody else who says, she don't want to lose you as a client. She knows y'all going to be locked in for at least another year. I'm hollering. One thing I've been opening myself up to a lot lately is I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Like, there's certain people who will look at something like this and they'll be like, that therapist is doing that on purpose. I tend to not jump to those conclusions a lot of times. Yes, I'm open to people being that evil, but in a lot of cases, and I know some of you may not believe this, I do try to think to myself, well, maybe, she's just as immature, doesn't understand life, and doesn't understand the risk she's telling this chick to take. And I'm talking about the therapist, right? But could it be that she's just plain sabotaging her just to keep her as a client, which would be extremely evil, right? That's some psychopathic behavior right there. And those people do exist. Somebody else who says, if you're abstinent because of your relationship with God, please continue. You have come so far. Don't do it. I know it's tempting, but hold on. Something's telling me that she's probably not, that she's probably not someone who takes Christianity seriously. I don't think she's a Christian. Maybe she is. Here's another person who says, some of the comments don't pass the vibe check. You have fun and be safe. So we have this chick here, of course, encouraging the behavior. Let me see. Do we have anything else? I was abstinent for 9 years, age 21 to 30. I was miserable for 9 years, broke it and never looked back. Just make sure you're doing it for you. God loves you either way. Look at that. So this is actually a chick here who believes in God, and she's encouraging her, saying, go do it, and letting her know that she did it at 30 and never looked back. So she's just been getting taken to Pound Town since then, is what it sounds like to me. And I would click on this photo, but I think she has like a child now, which makes sense. You feel me? And the final comment here reads, my therapist told me the same. I was super hesitant because anxiety, but baby, I had a time. It was so worth it. So that's you, huh? That's you. mm, mm. Man, I was surprised that this is the advice that like modern female therapists are giving to their clients who are also probably really liberal minded and want to be out here in these streets. I don't think it's really that much of a surprise. The lens that I look at a lot of life through lately is based on my own current lived experience, right? I have to do that in order for me to keep creating content, in order for this, to be, to have purpose within me. The day that I cannot relate to anything I'm talking about here is the day I will probably move on. So to me, I think of it from the perspective of, okay, what if I had a daughter who had gone 6 years and she just had to do something this reckless? I would hope that if there's a mistake made, that number one, I hope it's not made. But if it is, you wouldn't pick a man is an actual red flag. Because if you get pregnant, then that's all on you, right? Of course, your family will be here, but at the end of the day, it's all on you.
Okay, so I'm getting a lot of comments like this coming from my therapist, but the reason why she says she's going to give me bad advice is because, for one, first of all, I'm grown, but two, I already have everything set in place. I was going to do it regardless. Like, I'm going to do it regardless. So I'm in therapy because I hold a lot of shame. I get embarrassed very easily. So she's trying to make my decision not seem shameful because I'm grown and I'm human. And so she's like, well, if you're going to do it, enjoy it. Don't do it and feel bad. A lot of times we do stuff and then feel bad about it. Like, no, go in making it worth it, right? Basically. And the reason why I post the videos that I do is, again, to not feel shame. And that's really it. So, shame thrives in secrecy. And a lot of people are saying don't do it, or like if I'm a Christian and stuff like that. I'm not Christian. I really just didn't have anybody to sleep with. That's really what it was. So yeah.
What?
And I don't want to say anything about his character really. When you be like, men ain't shit. Like, he hasn't done anything to be like, Deja, why are you sleeping with this man? He's literally just a man with walking red flags. Like, y'all know. We know. It's just a situationship. So, when you say he ain't shit, it's basically, okay, that man don't want me. Even though I don't want him. But it's like, why don't you want me? So, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy myself and I'm not going to feel bad about it.
So your therapist doesn't want you to feel shame for something that you're about to do that's very shameful. And I'm just going to speak candidly now that she's confirmed. She said this. She said this man is a walking red flag. If someone says somebody's a walking red flag, I don't care if you're a woman or a man. If my boy comes to me and says, hey man, there's this chick, even if he doesn't value like starting a family, whatever, and he's doing his thing, whatever. If he says, bro, but she's like a walking red flag. The men who know me in real life know that I will tell him the truth. I'll say, hey man, that's going to be a headache. You will pay for this. Nothing is free in life. When you deny yourself, the price that you pay is that you don't indulge in your lusts, right? When you don't eat the cake, the price that you pay is that you don't enjoy the sweet flavors in your mouth, but you avoid the calories, right? You don't gain the weight. When you do the thing that you know you shouldn't be doing, well, you're going to pay for that somehow, some way. Nothing is free. This is even to the guys out here. There's no chick out here that you're going to mess with that you're going to not pay in some shape or form. Don't get it twisted, bro. A lot of these dudes out here who deal with a lot of women, they pay. They have drama. They have women who are looking for them right now. They have restraining orders. They're changing their numbers. They're trying to avoid people. The drama that comes with it, it's there, right? They're getting tested left and right. If they do even do that, what am I trying to say? In this situation, when it comes to this woman right here, she should be shameful because there will be a price to pay. We've been there. I've been there. I've looked back. I've dated chicks who have said, hey, that was a bad decision when I made it and I wish I didn't. And it's almost never worth it, right? And it's not just the fact that she's doing something that we know a lot of people out here do. It's the fact that this is a great example of here's a chick in therapy, probably looking for a good guy, wondering why he doesn't want her. He's probably outside of her league. And then she'll be complaining, wondering where all the men at, where are the good men, so on and so forth.
I don't got time for that baby stuff. Stop it. Stop the tears. Stop it. I love you. But you gotta be a big boy.
So this video has been circulating. I've seen it a couple of times and I decided, you know what? I'm actually going to say something about this, right? You have a mother here who is yelling at her son. Moms yell sometimes. They yell sometimes. But there's a lot wrong here. But I'm going to focus on the one thing that I think is the most wrong. And that is, why are you filming this interaction of you disciplining your young son? This is the level of emasculation that's happening here is very uncomfortable for me to even sit through. You know, typically we're used to seeing people get online and they'll expose too much about their dating life. But this is just crazy because, as you guys can see, I'm not actually even showing her son's face here on the channel. Number one, I know YouTube, you know, for as long as I've been doing content, they're very careful about that. And two, I've kept the tradition of not showcasing kids on my channel, especially if there's like a heated moment situation. I always try to blur the kids. And that's because they can't really rationalize and emotionally help, and from a healthy perspective, rationalize everything that's going on. The comments, adults can barely handle it, right? Who get online and put their business out there and are surprised when people say stuff. But children overall, you're posting your child being yelled at, you discipline him. It's comes across very, very belittling, emasculating. It is not cool at all. Something tells me, might be a single mother. I am not sure. Let's check out a few of these comments. Top comment here says, how could you say stop the tears? What the hell? Here's someone else that says, so lame, get this straight. You saw your kid crying, pulled out your phone, opened TikTok, started recording, and yelled at him for crying and told him he needs to grow up. This is the problem with, I think, single mother households, right? And you knew I was going here. So we're here now. Let's just talk about it. Even when you see a single mom try to play that disciplinary role, they may, in most times, not understand what lines they shouldn't cross and why they shouldn't cross those lines. Take, for example, this whole situation that we just watched of this young man getting emasculated in front of the world. For a man, the type of damage you experience when this is your norm is a lot different, right? Public embarrassment really damages men. I remember reporting on a video a while back of a man who was talking about how he remembers his mother yelling at him when he was younger. I'm trying to see if I can find it here, and how it really just messed him up mentally in the long run. The video was titled, "My Mother Emasculated Me and Disrespected Me. My Mother Slapped Me." Let's check this out. It was a short video.
I was dating this chick, right? And we was cool. Everything was going good. She was doing everything right up until this point. She was cool as hell. All right. So one day we was out at a public event at a picnic. You was there. So I was just showing hospitality and shit, and I was walking people around, making sure they got their food, you know what I'm saying, kicking in and shit like that. But there was one particular young lady who I was having a conversation with that alerted her. Really, her friend pointed it out, and she was already drunk. Her friend pointed out, like, oh, watch him talking to her. He been talking to her for a while. Woo, woo. The girl who I was dating, she walked up behind me and kind of like fake made a little scene, you know, kind of made a little scene, like, and it was slight, but I'm like, all right, you know, chill out, whatever. And she's like, hey, we need to talk. Woo. I'm like, nah, we can talk about it later. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll chop it up with you later. And she like, nah, we need to talk right now. I'm like, nah, let's do it later, right? So I'm knowing me and I know how I am. So I'm like, let's do it later. So I walk away. I walk out to go piss. She follow me, catch up with me, and she like go off. She crying, she yelling, she drunk, she she going off. Like, you know what I'm saying? And in my mind the whole time, I'm just like, yeah, this is going to be the last time we talk. Like, I'm not dealing with this shit. You know, after I stopped talking to her and told her, like, hey, you know, it's a wrap, she kept like, man, like, I don't feel like that was enough for you to stop talking to me. Like, she just wasn't accepting of me not talking to her for that reason alone. She like, oh, you must be talking to somebody else. It must be this. It must be that.
It can never be them.
And I'm like, nah, it's that. Like, it's literally just that. But I thought deeper about it recently because it wasn't really about her as much as it was about me and my triggers. And I identified that was a trigger for me. And I wanted to identify like why it was a deal breaker. So some of my therapists taught me, when you're thinking about triggers, think about who else made you feel this way, who was the first person that made you feel this way, and what was the first time, if you can remember, that you felt this way, right? So in the moment when she was going off, I felt anxious, heart beating a little bit, maybe like getting hot and shit like that. And I felt embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? More so than anything. And I think back about the times, the first person made me feel like that was my mom. And I think back about the times it happened. It was quite a few times, but some of the ones that stand out to me was my ribbon pinning. My mom slapped me in front of everybody. Well, I felt like everybody saw the shit. I don't know. Maybe nobody saw the shit, but you know how that shit feel in the moment. But I cracked a joke, and it wasn't like inappropriate, no super crazy shit. It was just, I guess, the timing. I guess it was a time where everybody's supposed to be quiet, and I had cracked a joke, and she slapped me and shit like that. And then she slapped me again for a different reason. I can't remember why, at my luncheon. Like, so it's 8th grade ribbon pinning, 8th grade luncheon. And then nothing happened at the graduation, but after graduation, this is the most memorable. We went to Applebee's, like to eat. And when we got there, my girlfriend in 8th grade, her family was there too. So they wanted to put the tables together.
Right.
I felt like that shit was a bad idea off top. Like, I'm like, nah. But that was the younger version of me that didn't know how to speak up for myself yet, didn't know how to advocate for myself, shit like that. So I'm just like, okay, cool, whatever. So we all end up sitting together and we, you know, everything cool. And they bring the drinks out. I asked for orange pop or whatever. They bring the drinks out. I drink my pop damn near as soon as I got it. Shit was cool. They bring the food out. Before I even got a chance to say anything, my mama just went to like, you better not ask for another pop. You done drunk your whole pop for your food came. No. You better not ask for shit else. She just went to I was embarrassed as like, cause it's like the girl I'm talking to right here, her whole family right here. We don't even know them like that for real. I was embarrassed as fuck. And that was like my relationship with women making a scene with me early in life. And that's why when that shit happens now, it's like I don't give a who you are. I'm never talking to you again.
All right, so I want to make something very, very clear when it comes to this conversation. I do not believe in soft parenting. No, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in soft parenting. I believe that there is a time when a child crosses a line and you have to be more stern than you usually are with them without, of course, severely traumatizing them. And this situation was uncomfortable to me because this didn't seem like a situation. You know, you see some videos where like the kid is cursing everybody out. They'll have like shows where maybe the kid has put his hands on the mom and he just thinks he's the man of the house. And then a man has to come in there and scare him straight, you know, like the show from back in the day. This didn't seem anything like that. This just seemed like she wanted to get this on camera and she believed that she was somehow going to get some good feedback here for embarrassing this young boy. And, you know, I keep calling him young man, really. It's a young boy. And she was going to get some views off it, which to me is sickening. Sickening.
Stop it. I don't got time for that baby stuff. Stop it. Stop the tears. Stop it. I love you. But you gotta be a big boy.
A lot of y'all gonna kill me in the comments, but this is one of the biggest reasons why I fought a lot growing up as a kid. Anytime for the slightest bit of disrespect, I was ready to throw hands. That's not healthy. That's not, because a man who can't control his emotions is doomed to fail. This is why we have so many crash outs and YNs right now in this world. Because you, as their parent, told them big boys don't cry. A lot of y'all even went as far as to tell them that crying is for girls. I posted a viral video on this app where my young daughter was having an absolute meltdown in the backseat over some blue Cool Ranch Doritos, screaming her head off. Just, ah! I'm calm, cool, and collected in the front seat because That's a justifiable crash out. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The Cool Ranch are fine. Now, after she was done with her meltdown, I looked at her and I said, hey, next time, baby girl, just tell me you want Doritos. This is one of those little things that don't require you to cry about. Not saying crying is not okay, but it's one of those little things that we don't have to cry about. Having such drastic emotions is once and okay for kids. You just have to be the one to guide them to understand emotional intelligence. The big events they can cry about and the little itty bitty things that it's okay to just be upset about. It took a lot of therapy for me to understand I don't need to turn up at every single occasion.
I think that was very well stated, right? You have to be able to look at your child and know what they're capable of. I've often said, hey, being able to control your emotions, especially as a man, I've said this before, you want to be the last one as a man to cry in your family, you know? And I gave this example a while back and I said, you know, the order is the baby, the mother, and the father. And people completely misunderstood what I was trying to say. I was talking about who's going to be the first to start shedding tears. And that's something that as a man, you can exercise and learn to control over time, because the world, number one, first off, it's your duty to embrace and control your emotions. That doesn't mean you hold them in and they never come out. No, you find a healthy way to express yourself besides blowing up, right? Besides blowing up. Two, society doesn't have a lot of mercy on young boys who cannot control their emotions. And so I do agree with what he's saying there. Just saying simply bottle it up and not talking to the son and teaching him how to work through that emotion, especially if there's no father in the home, will be detrimental to him in the long run.
Look at this. Why did you have to record this? These new age parents get on my nerves, bro. Y'all feel like y'all gotta document everything and post it online for strangers for no reason. It's childish. And then you gonna tell him directly in front of his face that big boys don't cry. Bottle it all up. Quit crying. Don't express how you feel. But in 20 years, you're going to be mad when he crash out from the 20 years of pent-up emotions that he had bottled up and actually hurt somebody. I say this all the time on this page, bro. Scroll through my videos, please. A man is dangerous. All men, point blank, period. But a man that cannot control his emotions, Lord have mercy. That's a bomb. It's a bomb. That's what it is. I don't know you. I didn't even look on your page to get context. Because in that video, the one that you posted online for millions of people to see, you said out your mouth, big boys don't cry. When he start knocking people's heads off in school, don't say shit. Don't ground them, don't punish them, because big boys don't cry. Just bottle it up.
Kendra G was a breakout star in the Chicago radio world for 15 years. I lived in Chicago, one of the most popular radio personalities in Chicago, but she really broke out when she started connecting single people across the country. Business was so good.
Connecting?
Helping people in their dating lives. She quit her radio.
Helping people? Just kidding. Let's keep watching. I'm sorry.
Job and joined the love train. She's now host of a hugely popular YouTube matchmaking show. It's called Kendra G Singles. Kendra G, Alana, come on out! Happy Valentine's Day, ladies! I'm gonna tell you, I can tell already by my audience, because I have one of the most vocal audiences in TV. They don't know how to feel about this. I never knew, ladies, it was so complicated.
It's tough out there. Dating is a war. You had it right. It's a battlefield out there.
It is.
Yes.
What makes it, Kendra, a battlefield?
I think now because of social media, it's the gift and the curse, because now we're all connected. But that fine man you had to worry about just in New York, no, he worldwide now. He got girls in Italy, Mexico, California. So the guy that most women want, he has so many options. And every woman wants the same man, child. Really? I don't care if she work at the Piggly Wiggly or she's the corporate lawyer on Wall Street. She want her a rich man, and that's just what it is.
Really?
Yes, girl. Hide your man, Tamara. Hide him. Hide him. Don't let him go outside. Don't.
So from what I've heard so far, right, I'm a little bit late to this, of course, but I had to. I had to check this video out. I know she's married, so let's keep listening.
Let him go outside, child.
Don't let him go. Okay, I'm locking my door. Steven, don't you leave that house. Kendra, thousands and thousands of people call you.
Yes.
They want to be on the show.
Yes.
They want your advice, but you're single.
That's right, girl, and loving it. Now, you know, I was in a relationship.
I don't think she caught the joke. She's like, they want your advice, but you're single. How are you giving people's advice when you're single?
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Oh my goodness, man.
Relationship last year, but this is my single season, and I love
Hold
it.
on,
And
hold on.
single does not.
But you're single.
That's right, girl, and loving it. Now, you know, I was in a relationship last year, but this is my single season, and I love it. And single does not mean lonely. Single means nobody can't claim me.
Right.
And I got a roster. If you want to join the team, where the camera at, Cameron? Hit me up on Instagram, Kendra G Media. We got space for one.
What's it been? 4 or 5 years since Kendra G tried to tell Kevin Samuels that he was wrong. And when it comes to relationships and dating, here she is, still unable to lock down a husband. This should be embarrassing. This should be embarrassing. I don't get how this is not embarrassing.
We got space
Because
for
I
one.
love that thing too, but just because you're not in a relationship doesn't mean you're not dating.
No.
And that can be your season where you're exploring yourself and what's on the landscape. Future proofing.
Yes.
Kendra.
Oh, you gotta have a job. You have to have an ambition that's gonna go somewhere for sure. I wanna see W-2 forms. I wanna see success records. I wanna meet your mama. I wanna know where you live. Is it in your name? Is it? I need to see the lease, because sometimes
Kendra, I'm not good enough to date. If I were, let me tell you, because we're talking about it from the female gaze to the male. I'm just talking in general. If I had gone on a date with someone and they started asking me about my W-2s and my bank account, they would have been seeing the gas come out of the pipes of my car.
Yes.
Because that's too, I'm intimidated now.
Well, because women are tired of wasting their time. I'm talking from the woman's perspective.
Yeah.
So they're like, I don't want to make you be already made. I don't got clay. I'm not magic.
But guys don't want that either. They don't want to make us.
Well,
Ooh, she's pushing back. Ooh, she's pushing back. Of course she's pushing back. This is a married woman here, and it doesn't sound like Kendra G was actually ready for this, right? For me hearing this. She's bragging about having a roster of dudes who are clapping her cheeks. She's bragging about asking men for their W-2s. That was a joke, I thought. But I've actually done another video of a woman who says that before she commits to anybody who she wants to date, she asks them for their bank statements. This is real life. This is what the dating market has turned into. This is laughable. And it only seems like it's only going to get worse.
oh, true, but the thing with guys...
And they don't want a broke lady.
Well, no, I don't know, though. Some men...
Guys, I'm speaking listen, I just speaking because I heard you say it.
I don't think men want a broke lady, but they also don't want a lady that's going to be too expensive. You know, wigs is $2,000. Lashes is $300.
Okay,
You know,
What are you talking about? Wigs, $2,000? Lashes? Dog. Why am I picking a woman based on whether or not I can afford her weaves and her lashes or not? Oh man, there's gonna be so many lonely chicks out here. Oh my goodness. There are gonna be so many lonely chicks out here.
Are you easing into high maintenance?
Yes, well, I think that, yeah, that's real high.
And
But-
you're owning, so 2025 people are owning the high maintenance?
Well, women feel like this is what I do for myself, so a man has to be able to do the same or more.
Why can't you keep doing it for yourself?
I agree with you, Tamron, but they're like,
No, you don't. Stop it. Stop it.
why if you here? If a man is here, why am I
But you're
doing
not here
me?
for my wigs.
But they're feeling like this. Okay, I'm showing up for you. I'm giving you my energy. I am in your presence. You should pay for this. Now, I'm not saying I agree with
Wait a minute.
Controversial.
This is getting
Most controversial
spicy in here.
topic.
But I'm with with you, Tamron, because you ain't got my own money.
Don't back up now, Kendra. We got some moans, we got some applause, we got some moans. Alana's coming back with us. I didn't know that Valentine's Day was going to get this hot. We'll be right back.
Did you guys catch that? Did you catch how she's backing off, right? She came out like she's one of the modern women, which we know she is, but she doesn't want to put herself in that group of chicks when the reality is her results and everything that she talks about, we're talking about Kendra G here, shows you that she is that woman who expects you to have this, and that. Otherwise, what? She would have a husband. She would have a husband. Now they're going on commercial break.
I'm going to tell you now, this has been one of the most unexpected Valentine's Day episodes in 6 seasons. We are nearly at 1,000 episodes, and I have never discussed dates that involve buying of wigs. This is phenomenal. We are talking today on this Valentine's Day about dating trends in hopes of helping those out there who are looking for love. Alana Dunn, the host of Modern Dating Podcast, seeing other people with us, along with Kendra G, the host of YouTube's Kendra G Singles.
And also, you know what? You were willing to date a man shorter than you, potentially.
Yeah.
A lot of women have height requirements. They're like, I don't want to settle. Well, right now, your man's invisible. Okay?
Right.
I think 5'9" is better than invisible, man.
And Kendra, for me, I make the joke about him being shorter than me. What it was, though, and you went with defining, I was not defining myself as single.
Right.
I was not, I had lost my job. I had a lot of things that were tumult in my life at that time. And I told Stephen one day, I said, I don't know if I was still working if I would have seen you. Not having my work as my title, I saw that man.
Right.
And he saw me.
Right.
And then he clearly saw a baby, too, because then we know what Moses is, and the rest is history.
So we missed some stuff there. That lady said that she married a man who's shorter than her. And she admits that if she was in the position where she was making a bunch of money, she probably would not have been able to see her, who is now her husband. That brings up so many questions. Think about this. How many chicks out here have turned down men who they could have been married, not because they're shorter than them, but because they're not their height requirement? You've seen this before, right? Man's obviously, unlike the Pop Balloon Show, you've probably seen it in real life, man's obviously the same height or taller than her. But she's like, no, you're not tall enough. And so she writes that man off as unqualified. Insane. And it also should show you that women, the more successful they get, and they like to say that men are intimidated, but that's not it. The more successful they get, the more that they jeopardize their mating potential. This is, of course, biology because women are hypergamous, but also just plain old delusion.
Let love in, whereas women more generally, we are so like nurturing and we can see us like building a life together at least.
She's probably married. I can already tell. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Where these women at? They don't call my show. They're not trying to work.
So
You better come.
struggled.
Like the one that calls my show. Like I love that Tamron was open to a pizza date. These girls like 5-star restaurant on day one before you get my first name, and that's the issue though because you see how Tamron, who richer than all of us, child, and very successful, was willing to go on a pizza date, and now she's married to the man of her dreams.
Yeah.
So we need more Tamrons to understand that. Listen, you can be a boss woman, but the things that matter more. Don't make it so high just to date you. For sure.
And I think two things can exist at once, right?
Stop, Tamron, girl.
I think
It is what psychologists are talking about today. Psychology Today says it encompasses the seemingly little romantic gestures that you can do to show that you care.
Right.
Why is there a name called micromance? It's just, to me, doing something special for the person you like.
They got a name for everything, Tamron. I don't know why either. I think this is just for people to stay connected, but it's like the real small, like a text, how are you doing today?
Yeah.
But I hate it, because if it's the GM, I hate the GM text. GM means good morning. You can't even write out good morning. It's say my name because you're probably saying.
Look at the face of the married woman there who's flabbergasted. She's like, you're worried about GM texts? Bro, like, you're not. Most of these chicks today are not fit for marriage. They're just not. You're worried about GM texts. And you think that you're ready for a husband, but you're worried about GM texts.
It to 7 different people. Don't accept no GM text. I don't like.
Now we've cleared that mess up. Situationship is when y'all are messing around, but you're not committed.
Right.
A situationship is exactly, it's defined by there's no definition.
No, situationship is a situation, it's like a relationship, and then you realize on Christmas he's not your man because he's not gonna be with you on Christmas. You don't get no holidays in a situation.
The other chick there is like trying to, she's like, who brought this dumb? She's over there laughing at Kendra G. She's like, hey, I was talking. This is incredible, man. Loud and completely wrong.
If your mama needs something, he don't show up. He show up when he got time or when she got time. And the holidays is always the bad time. He's always busy doing holidays.
She's faking every laugh. What?
Kendra, I'm gonna start GMing you in the morning. I'm gonna become your counselor
in a situation.
Okay,
this is the data. I'm giving y'all the data. Say a situationship might work for some people because sometimes not everybody wants to be locked down in a relationship.
You're getting too complicated. Okay. Loud looking.
They just told her to shut up.
We have a clip from Kendra. Yes. I'm gonna brace myself because I've not seen this clip. Let's play. This gentleman over here.
Kendra, they're laughing at you. They're laughing at you. They're not laughing with you, Kendra G.
That is hard. Me too, sir. Let's play Kendra's from her show, Loud Looking.
I'm looking for a wife. I want to find the right person, right? So being that I'm divorced, being that I'm older, I know what I want and I know what I don't want.
So let's get into it. What do you want, Dave?
Well, first of all, I like a woman that is naturally beautiful. I can do extensions and things like that, but she gotta have some hair. Like she gotta have edges. She gotta have her own hair.
No.
We all have a lot to say right now.
Okay, I'm away.
No.
He's
Kendra.
He got married.
Kendra, God bless him. And I'm sure he's an amazing man, and congratulations to his amazing wife. You said he got married.
He got married. I went to his wedding last year. And the woman saw his video from my show. He got married last year.
Does she have her own hair?
She has her own edges. She's beautiful. She has full hair. Because intentional men don't mind the questions, because intentional men who are looking for a life partner, for looking for something serious, those questions do not scare them.
Yeah.
So you can be upfront because you're going to learn one or two things. Either he's not intentional, doesn't want anything serious, or he wants to play. So now he can't play with your time. So either way, it's a win. You're not going to scare off the guy that also wants the same things as you.
Yeah.
Listen, I've had enough. Let me say this. Any man who's going on Kendra G's platform to find a wife, I hope you're also considering heading over to fathershaverights.com and accessing the #1 guide to drafting a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement. Yes, you should. I think it's been entertaining to watch Kendra evolve, and I think what's most entertaining about it isn't necessarily that there's anything surprising about what we see. It's the predictability. I think that's the point of all these chicks, right? The fact that you're able to predict how not only their lives will play out, but also the decisions they're probably going to make in the future. Guys, of course, I'm curious to know, what do you think? Leave your comments down below. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.